Hello again, Gaming World of YouTube. This is Zero1009, and today we have automation. We are going to be doing something not for virtual GT engines like I would typically do for something like this. We are actually going to do something for Cars Head-On. That series. Yep. Anyways, recently the new update for automation came out. I was starting to think that they'd forgotten about little old us. You know, the gamers of the gamers of the gamers of the universe. They did not. Obviously, the campaign's available now. They've got like campaign. We're not going to do that actually, because I suck at campaign. To be honest, I'm not a good car builder. I have fun doing this. I really just do it for giggles, and I think some of you guys have fun watching me do it because I do some really stupid stuff. And they didn't release patch notes whenever they did the new update, so I was very surprised to see anything had actually changed except for a few bug fixes. So, aside from having the campaign in there, they took out the scenarios because I'm sure that with some of the new content that's been put in, they're trying to create more scenarios. And quite honestly, do I blame them? Not really. But you could have at least kept the scenarios that were already in there, so that way we could, continue to do those. But the new update has a new engine style that I don't think many of you are really excited about, and except for me, I was really excited to hear about this because I didn't know this kind of engine existed until quite a while back, where I watched a video on slow cars that kind of fooled us into thinking they were faster. 8 cool cars that are slow, but they're really cool, stuff like that. And we're gonna go into Sandbox. We're going to take my monstrous... Oops. We're going to delete that. We don't need that. It probably tells you what it is anyways. So we're going to go ahead and take my hammer car, because it's already built. Let's see, the hammer... I don't even need the fixtures. Oh, it actually saved the wing. That's surprising. Yeah, the wing was an experiment that I was trying to do to get a little extra downforce, but that's not going to happen with this car. I might show it to you in another video, kind of a show-off video. Let's see. So it kept the front, the grille, which is what we need. Let's see. So, let's see. I like rear-wheel drive because rear-wheel drive is fun. Longitudinal rear-wheel drive. Yep, and we're going to make it black again because the black really looks cool with this particular car. Let's see, and then engines. So in case you haven't gathered already, and I've been doing a good job keeping it surprised, they introduced inline 3 engines. Oh, I want to check out, do they have any more? Nope, they don't. So, they have inline 3s now. I kid you not. Give me a second, it'll load in. Oh, wait. I gotta do this. I want this to be really lightweight. So we're going to make it out of magnesium, and we're going to make it very sporty too. So we're going to drop this down to about 90 cubic inches. Don't ask me how many liters that is. I have no freaking idea. This way we can get some really high RPMs, hopefully some good power, and sadly, these don't come with turbochargers, which is really kind of sad considering this is a very low displacement engine. Although admittedly, last time I fooled around with this, I had some trouble getting some air to come into and out of the engine, so we're going to have to watch the RPM levels to make sure that doesn't happen again. We're going to go with dual overhead cams so that way we can really minimize that. And we're going to make this the lightest possible material, because if you don't, it's basically a useless engine. I mean, quite honestly, it has to be lightweight in order for the amount of, and especially since it's a small engine, not only is it naturally weaker, but having it naturally small like that means it's already weighs less, even if it's made of cast iron. So, and I'm just putting the best stuff on here so that we have all the potential in the world. But having it naturally small like that and then making it out of even lighter materials, the engine's only going to weigh 140 pounds. It's crazy. Let's see, maximum capacity. I'm gonna up that. I'm gonna lower the compression a little bit. I've got the compression pretty high on this, despite it being a very small engine. Although I think that might have been what's causing the airflow problems. And it was with these things right here, you know, the valves. It's where the problem was with the airflow. It just wasn't fast enough to get, it just wasn't flowy enough to get through the valves. We're gonna get a sporty cam profile. We might adjust that later. Variable valve timing. Let's see. It only comes in one style, sadly. I wish it came in more. And we're gonna change this to, oh, wait, does it come in more styles? No, it doesn't. Okay. I like red. I really do. That's a good color, red too. So we're gonna go with that. Gonna up the tech on that. See, no turbochargers. Every engine in the game except this one has turbochargers, which makes me very sad. Because I love turbochargers on these things. Like, I would love to have a supercharger, honestly, but that is, it's a later update in the game, and they're just not going to add it just yet. They do plan to add them, from what I understand, though, so we will be seeing superchargers, and I will hopefully be one of the first people to do that. Apparently, I'm the first person to do this. So let's see, direct injection, throttle per cylinder, race intake. Hehehe. That's an unusual sight. Anyways, we're gonna go with regular leaded because it's just a decent fuel. Or should we go with just regular? Let's go with regular. Up the fuel mixture a little bit. Up the ignition timing. That's gotta be adjusted later. And I'm gonna guess that we're probably gonna get something like, oh, let's go with 8,500 RPM. Let's up the quality on that again. I'm basically making a race engine. And last time I did this, I actually did need race tubular headers, which is really, really odd considering it's such a small engine. I was very surprised about that. Let's get some bypass valves in there. We'll leave the muffler, the exhaust diameter alone. We need a catalytic converter. We are going to do straight through and straight through because they're some of the best ones I can think of. Let's see. I like the reverse flow though for the older cars. Oh look, there's the bypass valves. I never noticed that. Look over there, right here. Oops. See? Bypass valves. Anyways, wow, we're already up to 160 horsepower. Not much, but we're doing good. Let's see, and the engine's quite healthy, so we can have some modification from there. Let's see. Fuel mixture, let's up that until it's too rich. And then we'll down it until it's not rich. Let's see if we can get the ignition timing up. My goal with this is at least 200. Let's up the RPM levels. See if it'll handle it. Too high. It'll do 9,000 efficiently. And I believe the cam profile can be adjusted. Yeah, right there. 200. Alright, that's at least 200. So let's, we could stick with that. Let's see, but I'm going to try and do a little bit more. Okay, so we got a little extra. I believe it was like 220 something is what we got out of it last time I did this. See, the compression's going real high on some low octane fuel, so I'm very surprised that it can handle this. Actually, it's going way higher than it did last time. There we go, 230 in horsepower. It idles at 90 at 90 foot-pound of torque. I don't know what that is in Newton meters and kilowatts, because I'm an American. Quite honestly, if you can't tell from the accent, I'm Texan. Yeah, terrible accent. At least the fake one was. Anyways, I talk like what I think of as a normal person, and quite honestly, that's fun. Okay, we're going to lower the exhaust diameter because it's healthy right now, and that'll actually increase power. Wait, that's too much. Hold on, is that too much? Yep, right there. That's the ideal. Let's see, so that's 2.5 inches. What happens if we do this? Not much of a change. And we actually have right here, this part is restricting airflow through the engine because we're spinning at such high RPMs. And there's a way to fix that, and that's lower the capacity is one thing. We could, because I'm actually using the most number of valves and the most efficient valves I can. So there's no way to actually fix that by adjusting the valves and not the displacement. So we're going to have to adjust the displacement or the RPM levels, and I'm not willing to adjust the RPM levels because we can get sportier numbers out of the RPM levels here. You'll be surprised at some of the numbers we can push. Let's see. Oh gosh, it's all the best stuff. It's all at high level. And I'll show you. I don't know if it's gonna do it or not. Long tubular. See, it won't even take long tubular. That's how much stuff is going on here. Let's see. Fuel flow. I got a decent power out of an inline 4 in one of my last videos for a scenario. Back when the scenarios were still an option, but these are just, this is, oh, let's see. How do I do this? I'm not sure what else to do. And that's above the number I wanted, so we're good. And no, I'm not putting fixtures on the car because I don't think it needs it. Let's see. So we're gonna do something sporty here. We're gonna make this the most prestigious vehicle possible, and yet it's still. Oh, look. Okay, there we go. And we're gonna up this. Not gonna change it by much, but it's actually a better curve than the last time I did this, so we should be pretty good. Let's space these out a little bit more. Okay. I think that's about where I want it. Let's get some wheels. We're gonna get medium compound. We don't need anything more. Carbon fiber to make it light. And we're gonna up the back wheel size as much as we can. That looks like a freaking drag slick from over here. Do you guys see that? Here, let me look at drag slick right there. Then we're also going to change the wheel diameter a little bit. No. There we go. 21. 20. That's better. Okay, and then let's see. I would copy the fixtures from the other one, and I'll let that one run around the track a little bit for you guys in a second. We're gonna let this one kind of have its fame and glory for a minute. Let's see, what else can we do to this? You wouldn't think of a supercar as having all this stuff. So we're gonna go solid disc, 2-piston, solid disc, 1 piston because that's about normal. Up the quality on that. No under tray. We so don't need this much cooling airflow. There we go. And no airflow there. Let's see, and then we should be able to go back here and... Oh, wow! Taking away all that drag just made the car so much more aerodynamic. We can actually reach higher speeds now. It probably won't handle those speeds, but let's at least try. Because that would be amazing. Okay, so the top speed is now 167 miles an hour, which is pretty dang sporty, actually. But I don't even know if the engine will handle it. So let's see. We're gonna do 2 seats because there's no way in heck I'm making someone suffer. Do you see that? I'm not making anyone suffer with that. Let's go Sport Interior. Premium Infotainment. Quality. Power steering, anti-lock brakes. We probably won't need launch control because the engine's not powerful enough to do that. We could do some electronic stability. And let's do standard 10s. Higher quality. Actually, let's make this a safe car. Let's see. Active Sport. Adaptive and passive sway bars. That'll make some really interesting stuff going on. Let's see, and then we're gonna make it a sport setup with the overall quality really high as usual. Let's see. Oh wow. Just because a number is in red does not mean it's necessarily bad. These are actually some decent numbers from what I can gather. Let's see. It still only gets... Oh, it gets 15 miles to the gallon now. That's unusual for me. Usually I suck at engines so much, I'd put huge displacement so they get like, gosh, 9 miles to the gallon? 6, 7? It's crazy. Alright. It'll do... Wow, it'll actually do that speed that we put it at, which is really nice. Oh, I was looking at the wrong number. It'll do the quarter mile in 1390? Wow. That's crazy. At 103 miles an hour, no less. Getting 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds. That's nothing to sneeze about. I mean, I'm not kidding. That is nothing to sneeze about. But the actual cost of the car is crazy. So it costs... That's what it costs to produce. It's not as much as the other one, though. So let's let this one around the test track, see what kind of stuff it goes. I might stop it just because it's just crazy. So let's see, loading up, loading up, loading up, loading up, loading up, loading up, loading up. That sounds so wimpy. I mean, I'm not kidding. That really does sound wimpy. But it's doing so much. Would you not believe this? Well, it has like 200 horsepower. Here's the straightaway. It's actually probably going to hit top speed right here. Let's watch it and see what it does. I sneezed. It's gear 6. It's gear 7, that's final gear. Will it make it to top speed? It will not. Last time I did this, it made it to top speed no problem. But it has slower top speed. In all fairness, I think that this engine has a lot of potential if they would add turbochargers to this, because forced induction is kind of key at this particular stage. Let's see, and it's going around that corner. Car handles pretty well, because it's awesome like that. Alright, that's the car with the inline 3 engine. It feels so weird saying that because I've never played with an inline 3, and quite honestly, they just You don't see them a lot these days. But, no, that was that. But many of you are looking at, let's see, this. You're probably looking at this like, oh, what's the other car you've got? You want to see that one? The video is about the inline 3, so we did that. So I'm going to call this, let's see, Inner 3 is going to be the name of the car. And we're going to call the engine, wait, Croker. That just sounds good to me. Let's see, stop. And we're going to go with, let's see, we're going to change this to the Super one. I'm going to show you that one real quick. So I'm pretty sure that you guys want to see it. As a little added treat. Alright, so we have NAS, which is actually based off of NASCAR. This is a pretty scary engine. Let's see. It doesn't redline quite as high as the inline 3 that we were just looking at. But I'll tell you, it's fast. It's really fast. It'll do... Why is it only going to do 200 miles an hour? You got my developer side going, guys. Oops. That goes right there. That wing needs to come off. There we go. And let's save that. Why is it... Frick! Why is it down to 200 miles an hour? Okay, that's better. Because it'll do like 220. There we go, 220. Okay, now that that's out of the way. Let's see, here's my automation supercar. Check this out. Let's see how much more impressive the V8 with the flat plane and the twin turbos is than the naturally aspirated inline 3. That's like almost 3 times as many cylinders. And turbochargers. And it makes like 3 times as much horsepower. I think it's safe to say that though it was quite impressive to see the results of the inline 3, this engine is definitely, this particular car is definitely putting out more power. It weighs more, and let's see, this car will do 220 miles an hour. It'll get from 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds. It can do 1098 in the quarter mile. Let's see. It's just fast. It won't reach its top speed here, though. Look at how fast it's going. It's crazy. And honestly, for those of you who read kilometers per hour, you can tell me how fast that is in miles an hour, but I don't know. See, this is fast. I want to make my own custom tracks for this, but I'm not sure how. That might be something interesting to look into. What's crazy though is that I suck at making engines so much that they're unreliable. They're powerful though, and I make powerful stuff, but that's about it. So they're not the craziest reliable stuff. They're not inexpensive to take care of, and they're not efficient for economy stuff. All right, well that was a video on inline 3 engines. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope that you enjoyed my little bonus with my supercar here, because this thing is off the chain. Anyways, I'll see you guys later, and I hope you had fun with this particular video because it was kind of fun to do. And apparently there's only one other person who has done an automation video on the inline 3 engine so far that I've looked at. So this will be the second one to hit YouTube, and it probably is going to suck a lot. I mean, seriously. Although it would be the first one to hit YouTube that has a voiceover, so that's really interesting to know. Anyways, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you don't, well, then you break my heart. Sorry to say, guys, but that's just how it is.